Hi, my name is Sonny Gurney, owner of Sunnyside Medicare. We hear all the time that Medicare is confusing. Well, that's because you've got Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D, Medicare supplements, Medigap. You've got all this information, and that's why I authored a book called Medicare Breakdown. It breaks down the alphabet soup of Medicare. And if you stick around to the end of the video, we'll show you how you can get a free copy of the book Medicare Breakdown. For today, what we're going to cover is we're going to cover Original Medicare. So Original Medicare is Part A and Part B, that's it. So how you qualify for Medicare is by working 10 years or 40 quarters and paying to Social Security Medicare. And so Part A typically is going to have zero premium. And what happens is if you have just Original Medicare, Part A is going to cover hospitalization and skilled nursing facility. And understand, I'm going to talk about the copays that are associated with Original Medicare because I want you to understand what's not covered. So, Part A, hospitalization. If you have just Original Medicare and you go to the hospital and you get admitted, one night it's going to cost you in 2023 $1,600. Now, if you're discharged after one day, you're going to pay $1,600. If you're discharged after 40 days, you're going to pay $1,600. That $1,600 copay will cover you up to 60 days in the hospital. And that's going to cover your room, it's going to cover your food, surgeries, medications that are administered, specialists, doctors, everything that happens in the hospital, as long as it's covered by Medicare, Part A is going to cover it under that $1,600 deductible. Now, if you're in the hospital more than 60 days, days 61 through 90 is going to have a per day copay of $400. And then God forbid you're in the hospital longer than that, every day 61 and above, you're paying $800 a day. And there's no cap to how much you're going to pay on that. So you get hospitalized for a year, I think the math is somewhere around $250,000. And then if you go to a skilled nursing facility after being hospitalized for at least 3 days, that Medicare will cover you for 20 days at no cost, but every day after that, you're going to pay a per day copay about $200. And then if you're in a skilled nursing facility after 100 days, now your costs go up to 100% of that copay. And that's per day with no cap. So you can understand just on Part A where some of the gaps are and why you'd want to consider adding in a Medicare supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, we don't usually talk about it, but Part A also does cover some stuff with home health care, and it does cover some stuff with hospice, but the meat and potatoes are going to be skilled nursing and your inpatient hospitalization. Now, Part B is going to cover everything outside the hospital: doctor visit, specialist visit, durable medical equipment, injections that happen at the doctor's office. And the durable medical equipment could be like an oxygen tank, a CPAP machine, an insulin pump, a cane, or a walker. Those things are covered under Part B. Now, Part B has a monthly premium. That monthly premium is roughly $164.90. That's for the average person. But in another video, we'll talk about IRMA, which is based on your income. That cost B premium could be higher. But Part B is going to cover, like I said, everything outside the hospital. With Part B, you're going to have an annual deductible in 2023, that's $226. Once you meet that deductible for the year, Medicare is going to cover 80%, and then you're going to be responsible for 20% of the bill. If you think about it, 20% is not that much. If you go to the doctor and they charge $150, you pay 20%, that's $30. You go to a specialist and it's a $200 bill, you're going to pay $40. So it's kind of manageable. Where that gets expensive is if you're going in for chemotherapy and it's 20% coinsurance. That 20% of $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 can add up pretty quickly. Also, that 20%, let's say you go to the hospital and they run a gamut of tests on you, they don't know what's wrong, and they don't admit you, but what they do is they put you into observation. You're now covered under Part B in observation up to 72 hours. So you're going to pay 20% of that hospital copay, And per day in observation, it's roughly $2,500 per day. So now you'll see why there's a lot of risk involved with having just original Medicare. So that's why you want to look at option 1 or option 2. Option 1 is going to be a Medicare supplement with a prescription drug plan or a Medicare Advantage plan. So if you want to hear the rest of our videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And if you want a copy of that book, make sure you click on the link below in the description, and that'll take you to a form that you fill out, and we'll make sure you get a copy of Medicare Breakdown.